Hey, what's up YouTube? Wellington here, and this is the Dose Soundbox Pro, a speaker that might look familiar to some of you. And the reason is, this is the Sony SRS XB30. As you can tell, I almost 100% sure that it influenced the design of this guy here. I mean, the only thing that's so different is the layout of the buttons on here, and the front is a little bit slightly different, but not by much. You can literally tell that. Wow, they do that, I don't get it. Anyways, but yeah, this is the Soundbox Pro, and right away the unboxing experience is not going to be any different. It's kind of average. You get in the box, you get the speaker itself, the micro USB cord, and the paperwork stuff. Nothing fancy. Anyways, with that said, what do you find around the speaker? In the back here, you will find your micro USB port for charging the speaker, audio input right here, and a TF card reader. So if you can put music on a micro SD card, you can put it right in there and play music off of there. And on top here, you have your power button, the extra bass like Sony has, and then you have the add here that's for connecting two speakers, because it's compatible. You can connect up to two speakers, and we're going to try that out here because I have two of them. So yes, and then you volume control buttons on there and play, pause, and you have that ring of light, you know, kind of like on the Sony. But anyways, I'm gonna stop doing that because it's not what we're talking about, but you guys can tell. Anyway, so this is the speaker right here. It's IPX5 rated, which means it is splash proof. Although on Amazon they say it's waterproof, I feel like waterproof is at IPX7 and above, which is IPX7 and IPX8. But I would say do not submerge this in water. It's not waterproof. It's not completely waterproof. It is splash proof, so you can splash water on it and you'll be fine, but it's not completely waterproof. So don't go by what they say on Amazon page, waterproof. Anyways, beside the design looking familiar, the actual build quality does feel pretty sound. Like, this is heavier, but it's also bigger. But also, if you feel how this feels, it really does feel pretty sturdy. Like, it doesn't feel fragile at all. It's pretty strong. I feel like it's something that can last you for some time, as far as build quality. So that is pretty good. The only thing that I don't really understand, like the lights here are okay, because when the volume is low, the lights do not react to the sound. They're like kind of doing their own thing, so it's not good. But then when the volume is all the way up, they just like go off like crazy, like no syncing to the sound or anything like that, which is what they're supposed to be doing, like going to the beat of the song, but they just go off, which makes me think that the lights in here are being controlled by some kind of sound sensor, like, you know, with the with other lights that will react to whichever sound you make, and then they can change. I feel like it's the same thing here. They're not being controlled by the software, but rather with some sort of sound sensor in here, to the point, because usually, like with the Sony speakers, you can play volume very low, but they because they're using software or some sort of processing before playing the music, they can still react to music. But this one here, when the volume is too low, because the sensor is not sensitive enough to hear it, they don't do anything. But when the music is too high, they just go off crazy. Like any sound that it's coming out of the speaker, they're trying to react to it. So it's like, so I don't really like the lights on here. So personally, I would just keep them off and not use them at all. But when you're playing music around 50 to 60% volume, they are fine. So they kind of catch up to the sound of the music. Kind of laggy, but a little bit better at medium, moderate volumes, but high, low, useless. So you can get up to 10 hours of playtime out of the speakers, so that is not bad. The output power is 20 watts, according to this. So before we talk about how it sounds, how about we do get some sound samples and we can talk about it on the other side. But before actually we do, I'm going to show you the difference between the sound, the extra bass on and extra bass off, before we go ahead. So how about we listen to that first? And that's it. I feel like I'm not a big fan of the extra bass on here, and that's because all it does is cut out the highs on the speaker, which makes it sound covered and not very pleasant to my ears. It's not like lifting up the bass and pumping stuff up. I feel like maybe a little bit, but it's mainly just cutting out the highs and leaving everything else and just the way it is. So nothing crazy. I don't like the extra bass on here. So for the next songs, I'm going to be taking off the extra bass. And then for reference, since I have the Soundbox XL, how about I put that in the center with these two to the sides here, and then we can see how this playing in stereo mode compare to the Soundbox XL. And then we can talk about it on the other side. And the reason I'm doing that is you can't really compare these two. It's I tried it. This just sounds so horrible compared to this. So rather than going through listening to these two and then doing another comparison, doing the two against this, let's just skip to these two versus this guy right here, because this sounds really good, and this is just not a match. So we're just going to go right into two of these playing in stereo mode versus the Soundbox XL. Check it out.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say. You should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops.
have it. While the two are not the worst sounding speakers on the planet, and they have an amazing stereo image in this kind of setup, they're not the greatest sounding speakers. They're not very, very pleasing to the ear. There's distortion going on in here, and actually, let me show you that. I don't know if I recorded it, but here, let's see. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, there's some sort of distortion going on in there, like it distorts a little bit, like something something is not right. So I feel like they missed something here. I don't know. It goes without saying, but this still does sound way better than these two here. I mean, I do like the stereo image that you get from the two, like left, right. They do sound pretty good in that way. But as far as the sound quality itself, this is way better. I would get this instead of getting two of this. And most especially if you're just looking to getting one of this compared to this, this just no way. But yeah, you heard it. What do you think? Would you get two of these instead of this? Or the highs actually did sound pretty good, like at medium volume there. The highs are pretty good on this setup here. They do sound really good. But I mean, the sound that's coming out of here is also really good. It's directional. It does not have as wide of a stereo image, but at the same time, there's a lot of distortion going on these speakers here, and the sound is not well balanced. You don't have as much bass as you have here, so this just can't win. But what do you guys think? What do you think? Drop me a comment down below, and I would really appreciate that. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out. I do have links to all these speakers and my gadgets that I use making videos down in the comment section below. So check the description section out down there for all the links and all that. But thank you for watching. If you're new here again, please subscribe. It really helps out a lot. And thanks for watching again. I will see you in the next video. Peace.